have to do is come back. Wait, it's saying start. Okay, should be good now. Okay, we're good. All right, so let me just share my whole desktop. All right. So I have Intouch lead management, but we're going to go over lead management in general. Okay, so lead management. Obviously, there's various different ways that you guys can bring leads into your business. And so I have here a bunch of different examples, like SEO. That's, for those that don't know, that's your website. That's you're optimizing your site. So a lot of that is blogging. Videos also are a great way to bring leads in. Email, social media, direct mail, cold calling, of course, FISBOs, even expireds are on there, and open houses. I mean, these are probably all avenues of where you guys collect leads. And then really it's deciding, what do you do with these after you get all these leads? So the goal of lead management is to find the next prospective buyer or seller. Obviously, that's your goal all the time. So then how do you do this? On average, so this is actually, this was done, I took this stat before COVID, and honestly, I think this has actually increased because of COVID. So before COVID, the average it took for a contact to basically make a decision, or to basically decide, okay, I'm going to do this, it would be 8 to 12 points of exposure or contact to that lead. Honestly, I just heard a thing the other day, and I think it was up to 18. This is how it's gotten because we are so inundated with messages. It is now almost taking, they say, up to 18 points of contact before they actually do something. So that's 18 emails, 18 different phone calls. That's 18 different ways of reaching out to a lead before they actually hit the go and say, okay, I'm going to do this. That's crazy. This is huge. And this is why lead nurturing is so, so important for you guys. There are leads, and I'm sure a lot of you on this call can verify that you sometimes have to work for a year or more before they even are ready to make a decision. So keep that in mind. This is why the nurturing is so, so crucial. So some best practices. So I wanted to go over this because, you know, calls are always so, so still important. And I don't want people to forget, like, to me, when you're doing marketing and you're trying to get leads, it's best to kind of spread out all those different ways of contacting your leads. You know, don't just stick them on email campaigns and think that's it. You know, they're the top agents, and especially the ones in this region that I talk to on a regular basis, they are reaching out in all different formats. You know, they're reaching out on social media to their leads. They're calling them. They're emailing them. All these different things have to go into practice with you guys. So you guys got to keep aware of all that. So here was the best days of making phone calls. And this was like saying that obviously the best days are Wednesdays and Thursdays. And it really is kind of, if you think about that, you know, of just kind of how are people on average? What do people normally do? But usually Mondays, it's too much. Nobody really likes to even bother with things on Monday. They just like to be in work, get their stuff done, and then that's it. Wednesday, Thursday, you're kind of like at that hump day, the middle of the week. You're kind of in a better mindset. So that's why they say that they look, even the response rate, they're saying on Thursdays increased 49% from a Tuesday call, because they're closer to the weekend. They're more apt to listen to you. So those are the things that just keep in mind. I kind of do it. I do it myself with when I reach out to agents in my region. I actually do Thursdays or Fridays because I notice a difference just in their attitude as well. Mondays, Tuesdays, they're too busy to talk to me, but Thursday, Friday, they're more open. So it's the same concept. So just keep that in mind. So when's the best time to make contact? So this was, they were saying the best time to engage with your lead is between 4 and 5. So again, you're thinking of the average day that somebody has. They're saying there's a stark 164% difference between a call made in early afternoon and late in the afternoon. That's drastic, 164%. Agents may also try calling their leads at 8 a.m. This is, again, if you have somebody early in the morning, they're up and ready, they're ready to go, and they may be a morning person. So this is really learning what's your behaviors of your leads. These are why these things are so crucial. When you're reaching out, you can kind of start seeing this. And this is where the analytics come into play. So as a marketing person, I can tell you, watching like open rates, you know, watching when do they open that message? What time of day was it? Like, those are the things that will keep you in mind of when is this person best to contact. And we'll go over where you can find that stuff. Response time. So this is huge, and this is a crucial part in your lead management system. So response time, and I have to say, I don't know why, but realtors, you guys get a bad rap for this. People think that you are supposed to be very, very responsive. They think the minute that they reach out to you, you are supposed to, they should receive an immediate response back. I don't know why that is, that they think that you're glued to your phone or your computer all the time. But look at this. This was like, I thought this was so crazy. And this was according to Lead Connect. This is agents who called within 5 minutes of an initial engagement. So that means as soon as they got an email, as soon as they got a web form or any kind of lead, yielded a 391% more interest than those who were contacted 10 minutes. A matter of 5 minutes reduced it that drastically. This is what it showed. Longer than 5 minutes was an 80% decrease in lead qualification. I mean, that's crazy to me. It's literally 5 minutes. You wouldn't think that would be a big deal, but it is. So this is where it comes into play of having those lead things in place. So the lead management comes into place with having those automatic messages in place. So what I mean by that is you guys had to have in place, and I can show you this, and I'll show you this on Intouch where they have this and stuff like that, but even on your phone, like for you guys, I would have messages saved or automatic messages that you could just send out to somebody. If you're at an open house or whatever, put your automatic reply on and say that. Say you're at an open house and you'll get back to them in the next hour. Or even if you're showing property, say that. Like put that on your automatic reply. That's going to help you then then they know what you're doing and why you can't contact them at that point. Intouch, they have these things in place where if a lead contacts you on their website, they'll get an automatic message back. Those are the things to make sure that they are getting something back in some way. 31% of leads expect a real estate agent to reply instantly to their online inquiry. Again, I don't know why it is, but it's something with the realtors. They expect you immediate gratification. So this, of course, is proving your value. This is when you respond, make sure that you're giving them relevant information back. This is, again, where you could then show how you're an expert in the area, leave them with information that they didn't have before the call. And I'm sure you guys know a lot of this stuff, but, such things as if they're moving to the area, send them some information on the school districts that are available. Send them obviously the listing in detail, but always try to go above and beyond is what I always say. If they reached out about a listing, send them some extra things that they didn't even think of. That's where you're building these relationships a little bit more. That's where you're going to have that, where you're offering a little bit more than the next person, because it's very easy, especially now. And I just heard this last week, and I got to find this out because this was useful. But I hear Zillow now is allowing people to just sell their home without a realtor. Which, if that's the case, that's crazy. So you guys are going to have to do more and more where you're showing why somebody needs to use a realtor. And it would be stuff of sending them extra things, not just sending them a listing that they can find online. Send them details of what's happening in the area. Send them tax information, stuff like that the normal person wouldn't know. That's where you're going to have to start thinking out of the box a little bit more. So then obviously, of course, you would follow up on your word and get back to them as soon as possible with the requested information. So then also too is have your own list of questions. When a lead comes in, don't just think that they're here. Like what I always say is that I used to have my own business for a long time, and I would actually go in with the mindset of I'm interviewing these companies if I want to work for them. And that's how you guys should think too. Like you should not feel like so trapped with a lead of like, oh, I have to have this lead or whatever. But think of it as like you're interviewing them. They should be a privilege to work with you as well. So when a lead comes in, obviously have the right questions in mind for them. What are they looking for in a home? What makes now the right time for them to buy or sell? What are their must-haves? Are they a first-time buyer? Are they a seller? Those types of things then you're more apt to then have more information in your hand that then you could present back to them. And that, again, is going to show your knowledge, why they should go with you, stuff like that, just proving your value. And then, of course, obviously, always consider that there are always multiple decision makers, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this. But you can have somebody who maybe has help from family members, parents of children who are helping them buy their home, or even friends buying a vacation property together. So make sure you know who's involved, Who's all the decision makers, so that you're not having to repeat your stuff over and over again. So then you can have everyone, that's the question that you guys should ask right up front. Who's everyone involved? So then you know who you're getting to. Who are you getting the information to? Is it actually the decision maker in hand? And then, of course, be patient. This is where the lead nurturing comes into play so drastically. Because like I said in the beginning, some leads can take up to a year or more that you are still nurturing them. So you have to obviously be patient when somebody reaches out to you. These things may change. And as we know, we live in a crazy world right now. Things change all the time. So it could be something that I could say, okay, yeah, I want to sell today. And then something happens and I can't do it. So then keep that in mind, but it doesn't mean that it left their mind. It just means some things happen that's going to change what their timelines have shifted. So don't brush them off. This is where it's crucial that you keep them inundated. You keep contacting them in some way. This is where the drip campaigns come into place. This is where you should have, like on your reminders, you should be reaching out and saying, okay, contact that client, see what's going on. Those things are what's crucial. Persistence obviously is the key. This is huge with lead nurturing. Persistence. And I have this little study here. Agents, according to a study, most agents give up calling too soon. Agents drop 30% of potential leads after just a few calls. And I get it, guys. Nobody likes to be hung up on. Nobody likes to be, hear the dial tone or whatever. But it's crucial, the phone call. And I'm going to tell you, I think more and more, the phone calling is even getting bigger back, because I think so many people are missing that connection with people. We get so many emails all the time now that I think picking up the phone, you're going to see that this is probably going to get more leads than ever now, because people are missing that talking to somebody and that connection. So if you can get over that uncomfortableness, and with calling, I'm just going to talk, because I used to manage some salespeople, and we had little tactics that we had to make phone calls. One was like, you had to have a mirror in front of you. So the mirror kind of shows how your face expression is, because as you know, is the way that you are, it comes off in your voice. Like obviously you guys can see me right now, but if you couldn't even see me, the way my voice is how it's resonating with you. Am I excited? Am I bored? Am I like, if I came on this call and I'm like, here it is, you guys just got to go call people, it wouldn't resonate the same way. So it's like you have to be able to let them feel your energy across that phone call. And that's what helps get increased leads and to be them more responsive on the phone. So contacts a few more times. So if you contact people a few more times, it could increase your lead generation by 70%. And this is, again, where people most of the time, you guys, and again, nobody likes cold calling. I don't know anybody out there who says, I love to cold call. Nobody likes it. But the people who do it, there are top agents that I work with. This is all they do. So it works. It works, guys. It's just getting on that phone all the time. If you have one bad call, brush it off and just go to the next one. It doesn't matter. So build relationships. For a lead, it could take at least 6 times. It could make 6 calls. Or it doesn't have to be always calls either. Like intermingle it. This is where I say, okay, if it takes 6 touches to somebody, intermingle it. Send a text one time. Make a phone call the other time. Reach out on social media another time. Send an email. Call again. Those things, like intermix the contact. So it's not the same thing, but they know that you are there, you're reaching out, and that they know that you're available. The chance of making contact increases to 90% on that 6th call. Because how many people do that? Most people don't make that 6th call. So just keep that in mind. If you really want to be persistent, call. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, it's like everyone sits there when they're making cold calls and they dread it. But really, if you think of what's the worst that can happen, is you're going to get hung up on. So what? Move on and call the next lead. So here are some sales statistics. Hold on, I'm getting background noise. Okay, muted. You guys can stay muted. I appreciate it. Okay, these are some sales stats that I just thought were very eye-opening. So here, 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. That's insane. That's almost half never follow up. 25% make a second contact and then stop. That means they literally reach out one other time and then stop contacting that person. This is what's going to set you guys apart, is the people who don't go to these statistics. 12% only make 3 contacts and stop. Again, see how the 6, see how less that is. That's getting into 10% only make more than 3 contacts. 2% are made on the first contact. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% are made on the second contact. 5% on the third. 10% on the fourth, and 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact, which could be even more now, maybe 18. But this is where persistence is key, guys. And this is where you have to keep, this is a lead nurturing again. This is where you're reaching out to your lead any way that you can, and you're seeing what's going on and you're following up. You're letting them know you're available. This is telling you that 5 to 12 contacts need to be made. And like I said, now I'm hearing it even as higher than 12. Okay, so let's talk about the response audit. So the most common method of making contact obviously is through email. Percentage that didn't receive a sales call is 77.7%. That's huge, because so many people think that's the easiest way out is to send an email. The problem is you guys want to stand out. You want to make yourselves be different. So make the call. And I'm telling you, now with this COVID, more and more people are missing that connection. They're missing it. They're missing the connection. I started to make calls. I never made calls. I've been here probably almost a year and a half. I used to never call agents. I finally started to do it. I can't even tell you the response I'm getting. It's actually like I'm having fun doing it. The top agents that I work with in my region, I have been asking them, what do you guys do? What do you guys do on a regular basis to reach out to your clients? What do you do? Almost all of them, these are the top 100, almost all of them say they call to check in. They don't say, hey, I want to buy a home, or are you looking to buy a home? Do you know anyone buying a home? They literally say, hey, I just wanted to check in. Is there anything that I can do for you? I wanted to check in. How are you and your family doing during this time? That's it. Who is going to fight you on a call like that? There is nobody who's going to hang up the phone if you're just like, hey, I'm just doing a courtesy call. Just wanted to call and check in to see if you need anything. Nobody's going to fight you on that. What can they possibly say? You're not asking for any business, but that is going to resonate with them. I can guarantee you guys that will resonate with people, and especially now. It's crucial. Percentage of companies that use phone calls as first response was only 28.6%. This is where I'm telling you guys, you got to pick up the phone. You got to pick up the phone. Immediacy in response, only 4.7% achieved optimal 5-minute window to call back. That's an average response that is astonishing 44 hours. Meanwhile, 28.4 only sent an auto response email with no call to action. That means they literally sent an email and it told them to do nothing. It didn't say call me now. It didn't say anything. This is where I say that with the marketing, having the intermixing is crucial. So what you should have is a sales process of every lead that comes in. Where are those 12 touches? So I honestly, for you guys, I would be saying 12 to 18. We know the highest is 12 and possibly 18. I would say in between, set your lead process to be 12 to 18 touches. Now you need to set, what are those going to be? And this is where you should be setting up reminders of what that is. Okay, so Intouch, we have the emails that can go out. So if you're setting those to go up on a monthly basis, say 1 a month or 2 a month, okay, if I set that up to go over the course of 6 months, I know that's 12 touches. Now, what am I going to be doing in between that? I need to start reaching out on social media. So then you should be setting up reminders for yourself in order to maintain these leads. I should have a reminder in place of, okay, within 5 days, I need to send this person, I need to call this person. You know, that's the only way you're going to be able to keep up with this. If you guys aren't setting up reminders and any kind of notes like your CRM of how you are with these leads and when you're supposed to follow up, there's no way you're going to be able to keep it and manage it all. It's impossible. So persistency of lead response. This is half of the leads in the study did not receive any kind of response, whether a call or an email. And I'm seeing this, and I could vouch for this because every agent I meet with a ton of agents all the time. And I see this more and more where I'm like, what are you doing? They don't have their lead set up. They have no kind of response in place for what they're doing to their sphere. This is why. And then they wonder why you're not getting business. You have to be doing you have to reach out to people. There's no way they're going to just find you. And if you, and honestly, you guys probably have the most competitive industry out there, especially now. You have to make yourself look different and you have to differentiate yourself. So how are you going to do that? You have to make sure that they're hearing from you and hearing who you are. So it's recommended, obviously, they say touch base 12 times. But I'm telling you, it may even be 18 now. But only 9.4% of the leads experience this. 9.4 only receive 12 touches. This is where you're getting to that 10% of agents being successful, because that's where 10% of those agents are the ones doing this. You guys have to touch these people. Here, like my motto in marketing is I will email somebody and I will keep bugging them until they unsubscribe. Now, I'm not saying being annoying. I'm not saying email every day or even every week. I think it's too aggressive. But let them unsubscribe, and who cares if they unsubscribe? If you're doing the marketing properly, you're gonna get more leads coming in. It'll make up for those that unsubscribe. But let them take themselves off the list. That was always my model in marketing. I never unsubscribed or never not touched anyone. I let them tell me they were done. And then sometimes I would even still reach out down the road just to check in. So keep that in mind. You never know. I had a top agent in Pinecrest. I thought it was so unique that he did this. So, you have those people that unsubscribe. He actually went through his unsubscribes and he called them. He called them. I couldn't believe it, but he called them and he was telling me the story. He had a couple that he called, and it was a husband and wife, and he saw that they unsubscribed, and it made him mad because he was like, why are they unsubscribing? I've helped them with 2 deals. I think he said he helped them with 2 deals. He's like, why are they unsubscribing? So he called and he's like, hey, I just want to check in. I saw that you unsubscribed from my newsletter. I just wanted to see, is everything okay? He just called like that, just verifying. He said that literally the husband was so mad because the wife apparently accidentally unsubscribed. He still wanted to receive his emails. And then after they got talking, they actually said, we've been wanting to reach out to you. We have a townhouse that we want to sell. And he got the listing with that. I was like, so you never know. And you never know, like, don't take no for an answer. There's a reason that why that saying is. You never know what's happening and what happens. But this is, again, where you have to, again, be responsive and make sure that you are touching your leads on a regular basis. So make sure all of your leads are in your CRM. And if you guys, and I can say honestly, I don't think any of you, I think it's very few of you actually use your CRM. Because from what I have seen, most of you don't even use it. And I don't know how. I don't know how you're managing your leads when you're not using your CRM. So the CRM to me is what's going to tell you when you made last contact with this lead, when's your next follow-up. Okay, so like I said, as I used to manage these salespeople, I would tell them if a lead comes in, you make contact. Obviously, you had to make contact within a matter of a couple hours. If you didn't contact them and you see it's even worse than that. With you guys, it's should be 5 minutes. You should be getting some sort of response from them. Make contact. Then from there, you do your discovery. So if I'm talking to this person and I find out, okay, well, they're not ready to really buy or they're not ready to sell until 3 months. Then what I would do is you need to set a reminder for yourself in that CRM that says, okay, I'm going to follow up with this person in 2 months and see where they're at. If you're not doing that, I have no idea how you're managing your leads and how you're able to keep track of all of this, because there's no way, I don't care how great your memory is, there's no way you can keep track of all of it. It's impossible. So you have to be utilizing this system. You have to set yourself reminders to keep track of all of these leads and what they're doing and how you're nurturing them. Okay, so you're not just selling your home, you're selling yourself and the partnership you provide with your clients. And this is what it is, guys. It's a relationship building tool. It really is. And it goes back to just like how friends are. If you don't hear from a friend for a while, don't you reach out and say, hey, what's going on? It's the same with your clients. It's the same thing. It's just reach out and find out what's going on. So obviously I have with Tom Ferry, love your leads. So let me go and show you things on Intouch. I want to point out some things here. So Intouch. So this is what it looks like when you log into Intouch. This is your dashboard right here where you look at. Okay, so this is where, honestly, if I was coming in and I had this thing running and working for me, I would be logging in here daily, and this is what I would be looking at, is recently active contacts. This is going to tell you who has recently been active on your website, and you can literally hit view all recently active. This would be where I would start and find out, what are they doing? What are they looking at? If you guys are Pro will actually tell you who has viewed your site. So for example, let me go back here. So when you're looking at your contacts, and if you guys have these, your website running for you and you're sending out automatic campaigns, email campaigns, then you should start seeing these listing searches starting to get. So when you start to see these blue houses like this is what you want to see. This means that they're actually setting up searches and you could then see what they're searching for. So for this one, obviously it's me, but here you could see I viewed this property twice. So then I could actually then click on that. I could see what is this person looking for. You see that they're set up this search. They're getting it twice per week. This is their price point that they're looking at. And here's the most 2 recent properties that they looked at. I mean, this is crucial. And then this gives you a way then to reach out to that contact. Okay, so then if I'm in here, I can then set up little reminders for myself with this bell. And you see, I could set up a meeting, I could set up a phone call or a task. Like I could tell myself, okay, on this date, I need to follow up. So if I say, okay, a week from now, follow up and put that in, and then I could put the notes in. Where are they at? Maybe, I don't know. You get the idea. But then you put follow up, you can even put the time. So then you know, okay, that's in place. I know I'm going to get reminded that I need to follow up. Then you can also put notes in here. Where did my notes go? Details. Here it is. Notes. So here is where you can add more notes about the person. Wait, that's not it. I'm missing my notes. Oh, here it is, right here. Note and reminders. This little thing right here on the top. So note. So I can put in details about this. So then I know, because here's the thing, guys, when I set that reminder, like a week from now, there's so much that happens in a week. I don't remember what I spoke to about that person and what they said. So this is where your notes come in handy. This is where you can say they're looking in Fort Lauderdale or wherever. And you could put what their price point is, put the details of their kids. They have 2 kids, their kids going in college. They want to move out east. Stuff like that is what's going to help you then to build that relationship. That's where you guys need to manage these leads better. Be able to say, okay, here, I know. And this is what every single top agent does. They know all about their lead and they know everything about their family. And that's what's going to be crucial. And that's what's going to help you be different and set yourself apart. So once you have these in here, and this is really managing your CRM, then you will see these little reminders like this bell. They'll tell you follow up. You'll start getting these reminders like this. They'll say 1 on your CB desk, my CB desk. This will tell you if you have messages in here. It'll even tell you leads. So you got to look for those things. But honestly, if you're using Intouch, you should just be logging in all the time, because that doesn't tell you on the desk who's been recently active and all that. You guys can set this up with your app. It does have an app now, a Market Leader, that you can actually look at the app and see who's followed you, what kind of activity was on the website. Okay, so this is like your lead management. This is your CRM. Now, if you want to start setting up campaigns, you go into the marketing, manage campaigns. This is where then you could start setting up your campaigns to go out on a regular basis for you. But we'll see, what I always like to preface is, look, these are really guides for you. Okay, so look, you can't just and I know you guys are going to have to spend a little bit of time on this stuff, because if you really want this to be effective, you're going to have to set up your campaigns where they're effective messaging to the right people. What I mean by that is you guys should have groups in place in your contacts, should have groups in place that actually say, okay, these are buyers, these are sellers, these are investors, these are realtors, or these are past clients. Those are probably all the ones I could probably think of. For example, so all of those are going to get different messaging. For example, like a buyer and a seller shouldn't really be getting the same types of emails from you. They should be getting a different message. So you can kind of get ideas from this. If you go here, you have this all collections. You see, I can actually say buyer prospecting, lead conversion, seller prospecting, and then this will pull up some ideas. So here's expired listings. This is going to be the course of 7 email touches over the course of 7 weeks. So this actually isn't 7 emails. This says this is 5 emails, 2 activity steps. So what that means is it's going to prompt you to call. See, again, why do they have calling on here? Because it prompts you to make a phone call. So again, you guys can use these as a template, but then really make it your own. Okay, and you see they have tons of expired listings in here. For sale by owners they have in here. They have print and email. So you guys can even set up, like even this one, let me handle it. This is actually 4 emails and then 4 direct mail. So they're getting both. They're getting 4 emails and 4 postcards from you over the course of 4 months. So this is a great little campaign intermingled. And it basically shows you, if I choose this template, you see this is the email. So here it's talking about all FSBOs, and I could change any of this. I could customize this, make it my own. And then here you see the next step then is showing the postcard. And here's a direct mail postcard. Basically you can switch it. Here's the back. Here's the front. So then you're getting different touches. This is already intermingling it. And you guys can even change this. Like if I have this and maybe I want to change this myself, you can see you could add this step. That's why I say, like, don't try to live and breathe this. So here I can add step. If I want to add a postcard, maybe I want to change the direct mail, I can hit add step. And now this is going to show me other postcard options that basically I can change and put in here. So it could be whatever you want, and you guys can customize these. You don't have to live and breathe these. Okay, so instead, maybe instead I want this one. I think that was just like the email though. I can hit add to campaign, and now it puts it here. And then what I could do is I can move this around. You see, I can move these steps. So that's what I mean is don't feel like you have to live and breathe everything that you see in here. Use it as a guide and make it your own. And you could expand these out. Like I just added another step, so I can make this go even longer on my drip campaign. I could expand these days out. If I don't want it to be 14 days, maybe I want it to be 20 days. Maybe I want it to be longer. So then I know I'm like drawing it out with their touch points. But you could do this with everything. Sorry, my phone's ringing. And then once you have this set up, you literally can just hit add remove contacts. And like I say, it's always easier to just add groups over. It takes a while to populate the groups. Come on. Stuck. There it is. So here's the adding one contact, and this would just be adding the groups over. I can literally just add my groups over, hit save. And then review and activate would basically activate the campaign. I could literally hit this and hit activate. Now you can hear what this is going to tell you with this campaign. You could basically then say it's going to automatically add them to another campaign. So this is where once they're done with this one, now you can put them on another one. So if you put them on the monthly newsletter or whatever, then you can put them on that. I'm going to delete this so it's not active. So then you could do this for everything. I mean, you can have several, and you should be having several different email campaigns sent up. Like they even have rent versus buy. So if you're targeting first-time homebuyers or renters, this is where rent versus buy campaign tells you that there's 5 different steps on this. That's what I mean is there's tons of different options, guys. Tons. So it's very easy to just set up the campaign. And these are all in here for you. Like you could do all of this. It's already in there. And if I don't like, I can go in and I can personalize it. I could change it. Here's all talking about rent versus buy. I can even add video. Like you guys can add your own personal video in there. Say, hey, this is Lauren, just checking in, seeing how you do that. Video is huge with email. Make these different. See, I can personalize this on any of these. I could even add, if I added a video, you see this little video, insert video. All I have to do is grab the URL from YouTube. It does have to be on YouTube and Vimeo. Those are the 2 that support it. So YouTube and Vimeo, once they're on that, you can literally put a video on your email. It's that easy. And then of course you could just keep adding steps. Like if I want to drag this out, maybe I want more on this on buying, I can literally hit add step again. It's going to be an email and choose from this library. And you can literally choose from all of these here and add another step in. So really making this your own, and then even you could customize these, change the headers, add graphics or whatever. If you guys are good on Canva or everything, you can add these in. But this is what's going to make you differentiate yourself. Okay, is having these in place. And then once you have these campaigns running for you, here, if I go to campaign, you should be looking at the performance of each of them, which is over here. You see each one has this little performance. This is going to tell me when did it go out, how many opened it, and how many clicked on it. Now, you can't view these here. You can't view who opened and who clicked. What you're going to have to do is you can see it. And then if you go over here to messages, if you go here where it has this drop down, wait, you go to sent, sorry, go to sent first. Then here, the drop down, you can see you can hit campaign email. And then this will tell you who opened it. See, it even tells you the time that they opened it. So you can start to get, look, 2 of them are around 4 o'clock. That it goes right in line with what we were saying about 4 to 5 is a great time to reach out. 2 out of 3 are at 4 to 5. So this is what I mean by looking at this and starting to look at, okay, when are they opening this? Here's another one. Here's at 7 a.m. Here's 8 p.m. So you start to get another one at 7 a.m. You start to get a feel for your leads of what are their habits? What are their, what are they doing? When are they looking at this stuff? And then look, if I see that they're opening an email at 7 a.m., maybe the next time, maybe my next point of contact, I'm going to put a little note in there, a reminder that, okay, reach out at 7:30 or 7:30 a.m. Call them. They're obviously awake and they're looking, maybe call them at 7 a.m. This is where you can look at those analytics and start to develop more of a system to be more building those relationships. And even on social media, don't be afraid to use that instant messenger. It's amazing to me how many people don't use that. I just talked to an agent the other day on that instant messenger, and she was like, oh, I'm very shy to use that. And I go, why? She's like, well, no one uses it right much. I'm like, right, so use it. No one uses it. That's the perfect point. Nobody uses that instant messenger, so use it. To me, the way I look at it is that's a free, you don't even have to worry about do not call, nothing. That's a free, different way of getting directly to them. And it can simply be a message. I mean, there's nobody who's going to turn down a message if you're just checking in. You're just saying, hey, I just want to check in, see how you and your family were doing. Who's going to be upset about that? There's nobody that can get upset. Obviously, if you try to sell them something and say, hey, do you know anyone? Obviously, yeah, then the people are going to get upset. But don't do it that way. Just say, hey, I just want to check in, see how things are doing, see if you need anything. That's what I'm saying is staying in touch with these leads. That's what I'm saying is the difference with these top people that are producing. They are doing this, and they are literally contacting their clients all the time with phone calls. But also too is integrating the other things, like integrating these drip campaigns, making sure though you're giving them content that they like. Okay, so that's crucial too. So you see that I could set up, I have tons of different templates here that I could set up. You could even, once you have these running, you could easily go here and add groups to them from this here, this dashboard here. Takes a while. I can even add another group. See, now I'm at, I'll switch to 3 groups. There, just did it 3. I could add it right here, and this will tell you how many steps are in here, so even with the seasonal one, it's a very popular one. Everyone likes the seasonal one, and they do have the 2021 out here. I grabbed the 2020. The 2021 is in here. Yeah, 2021, here it is. So even this one, you guys can differentiate yourselves from this, This is a great one because it's very simple what they send out. You see the messaging is it's not much. Like obviously here, the next one's Valentine's Day. Okay, so look, it says home, it has Happy Valentine's Day, and it says home is where the heart is. It has nothing, it has like 2 lines here. You can even differentiate yourself, put a video in there of yourself. You can add it, just anything to make yourself stand out more. You can even change these. So these templates, like obviously you see the ones that are in here. So say for Valentine's, maybe I don't want that one. Maybe I want a different one. I could hit add step, add email, click off the print because we only want email. And here, let's say if I look at Valentine. Look, there's 14 different ones. That's the one that's in there, but maybe I want to be different, so I can go and grab a different one. This is what I'm saying. Nobody does this, and I can literally hit add to campaign.
Gone in 2 days.
And then right here, I can put the same date that that's going to go out, the 14th, and add my subject line. Just make sure that if you do this, you go and delete the other one, this one, so you're not sending them two. So then here I could then say Happy Valentine's Day. You get the idea. But then just having that little difference is going to make my drip campaign a little different than the other agents. Okay, so the next thing too, I just want to show you, and then I'll take some questions. Let me meet you guys. I'm getting background noise. Is Prospect Square. So Prospect Square also has automatic campaigns, and honestly, they have great market reports. So their market reports are a great thing to send out to just keep people aware of what's happening in their neighborhood. If you guys don't know Prospect Square, I highly recommend. So they do have 3 different reports. My favorite is the market report, because the market report is the only one that includes properties. The other 2 are just data. They give you a lot of data and graphs. But the market report, you can set this up to go out automatically. This can literally be set up. You can have it go out once a month or however often you want it, and you can literally set this whole thing up. It's very easy. I literally just name it. Say if I'll pick on Weston today. You put the criteria in, so you can even put address or MLS number. But the problem with that is you do get a minimum of 0.25. So what I always say is you're going to get surrounding properties. So if you're really trying to hone in like on a high rise or a neighborhood, it's easiest to just do the map search. The map search will let you do it one time. You could do a draw around an area. So for example, see, I already drew this Harbor Beach. So how you draw it is you have this little polygon and you basically draw around the area that you want. So for example, and then you name it, like I already did this, so I'll just grab it, Harbor Beach. And then you could even set the parameters, active, backup, close, how often you want to go back. You can even set the price points. But if I already know I have this area defined, I could just hit OK. You pick your contacts. I'm just going to pick this one. And then here's my email frequency. So I can say, okay, I'm going to send this out every month. It's going to go. And don't copy yourself on that, because if you're sending this out to hundreds of people, you don't want all those emails. You're going to get a copy of it in your dashboard. You can even have it expire. You know, if I say, okay, I want this to expire after 3 months or whatever, you can even set an expiration date, or you can leave it running. But then how this looks and why I love this so much is this will send them reports for their area. So again, you can even customize this cover photo. You have all these hyperlinks once they send this out, and then they also they get this little interactive map of their area or their neighborhood that they can click on. They can click on any of the properties. If I want to see the sold, I can click on it, look at it. Oops. And then still go back to the email. So it even gives you a little snapshot of that area, summary. So even all these listings are hyperlinks in here. And then this was the great thing, is I get all these pictures. So especially when you're doing a nice area, it looks really nice. So even though this has like listing courtesy of, I can hit view property details and it's me that's on there. So then this is great, because once this is sent out and people are looking at this, you could then go back and look at the analytics over here for your market report. Which again, analytics with marketing is so crucial. You guys really need to look at the analytics to really start looking at the behaviors. That's really what marketing is you're analyzing all the data. But then here on the analytics, this will show you, and I don't have any because I don't really send these out, but it'll show you who opened it. And then here, these areas down here are the crucial part. It'll also show you what properties they looked at, how many times they looked at it. You could even see the MLS number that they're looking at. And then this can then prompt you then to reach out to them as well. They also are enhancing this with property emails. So you guys can even send out emails in Prospect Square now, just about your listings. They have this in as well. But I won't get too far into that. I know this isn't really a prospect score class. All right, so I know I threw a lot at you. Let me see, do you guys have any questions? Okay, let me see. Oh, good to hear, Sharon. I like to hear that. Yes, market leader is Intouch, Diane. So market leader is actually the vendor name, and they called it Intouch for Coldwell Banker because they made so many enhancements and changes. So it's the customized version is Intouch. So if you guys are using, I say market leader because if you are going to use the app on market leader or Intouch, see how it says market leader up top, but it is Intouch. You go to your account, and there's a way that you can set up the app. So from what I've heard, I haven't tried this, but from what I've heard from agents is they say the app helps them respond to leads quicker. It lets them know who's browsing their site, any kind of activity. So if you're on your account and you're in touch, you go to mobile, and this is why I say install. The market leader is the app. Okay, so it's not Intouch. You're actually going to look for the app. It's called Market Leader. You would download that. It's then going to ask you to connect your CRM email. So that's different. That's this. Whatever you have in here is your CRM email. You only have to put it in once, and then it'll ask you to put the pin in. You literally just hit create pin and you put that in. But I have heard good things with that app. That's a great way to manage your leads and follow up with them. Yeah, it's CRM. How do we get their emails for FSBO? That's a good question. I mean, we do have the Cole Realty. I think a lot of people go in and pull them off of your, what is that, IMAP? Yeah. The recording, I'm going to post the recording in the chat once I get it. All of this is only available with Pro. No, so all of this is not available. This is also the regular version. So the Pro for Intouch for the CRM, obviously you get all the CRM. So this is where you could easily put in reminders. You could put in notes. You don't need Pro for that. You also can set up these listing searches without Pro. The only thing different that I have seen with Pro when it comes to the CRM portion is this part. Is you will be able to see how many views they did, but you're not able to actually see the properties they looked at. So that's where Pro comes in, that you can actually see what they viewed and what properties they viewed. But I think everything else is still the same. You should be able to see the searches that they set up, like what their area is, what their price point is, that stuff. I think you just won't be able to see the properties. So how do we get phone numbers when they only register with their email, or how can we find their social media account? So that really would come to them searching for them, which, yeah, it takes some work to have to do that. You know, sometimes what I've had people do too is they pull off their social media people, they export their list, because you could get all your emails. You can get a lot of emails from social media. And I don't know if you guys know this, you can get a ton of emails if you export your list from social media. They're all there. Even LinkedIn. LinkedIn lets you download everybody's emails, pretty much. And you could start those and basically create a group of social media contacts and start reaching out to them then. So yeah, if you can't find their phone number, obviously I would say to try to Google or anything like that, or Cole Realty, you could try to look them up in Cole Realty is always another avenue to try. But just be cautious with Cole Realty, guys, because it is a marketing database. I always am like put a preference on that, because it is a marketing database. So nothing is 100% on those, and that's across the board with any marketing database. The beginner welcome email to get started before the drip campaign. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of marketing emails on here. I don't know really what you mean by beginner. I mean, because they're all in here for you. I literally can hit add new campaign. If you don't want to do a customized version, this is where I guess you would say a beginner. You see, I can just scroll through here. Here's the seasonal one. I can keep going, and there's all these different campaigns. Here's a new way home. It's telling you, and it tells you this. Okay, this is 8 email steps over the course of 4 months. So you could start with any of these and just not customize it and do a test. You know, you can literally hit this one. This is a new campaign, actually. So it's about COVID. I'm curious what this is. So here, it just tells you a little bit about, has 2020 got you thinking? Cheap money, take it. I don't know what it is about. Yeah, here's about borrowing money, lending. So here's a perfect example. I mean, obviously everybody on this call is Florida. This doesn't really scream Florida picture to me. So this is where I would change this. You know, either upload your own image. Actually, upload your own image because the stock is not good. But this is where you could even use BrandServe. You could change those. I don't know if you guys know, BrandServe has a whole digital library. You could change images out from there. Definitely I would look into that because, again, these are things where you would want to make it look like yours. You know, these are the little things that even though you're using this, I would change this. You know, this isn't Florida. This doesn't represent any part of Florida, really. So those things are what I'm talking about. Enhance it a little bit, make it a little bit different. But this would be basically a basic template. I guess this would be like your basic welcome. And you can literally hit the same thing, add, remove contacts, add your groups over. I always say do it in groups because it's so much easier as leads come in. If you have your campaign set up, your few drip campaigns for each group, then as new leads come in, you just add them to that group and they're automatically on the next campaign. You know, with a campaign like this is like 1 day after contacts added. So this means if you added a contact, like some contacts could be on step 4, while if you add a new contact, they're right on step 1. So this is, again, where you're just kind of, you got to keep reminders in place. So if your new lead comes in, though, you got to be able to say, okay, this new lead came in and I need to follow up in 4 or 5 days or whatever it is, 2 to 3, whatever your follow-up is. All right, let me see what other questions you guys have. You say, I have sent market reports to 3 areas, but then realized that the website that is below my contact info will take people to another agent. That's very weird because the website that's in your profile should be pulling from your account. So it should be pulling from my profile here. I would have you go in here first, look up what email is here. This is maybe where they have the wrong website address in for you. If that's the case, you see that you can override it here, preferred agent website. So I would look in here. If this is the gray website that you're talking about, that's in gray, this is pulling from CB Homes admin. So if that's the case, you may want to go check your CB Homes admin profile. That's on desk, by the way, CB Homes admin. This is where a lot of all your information pulls into all of our tools. You guys don't know. I don't even see where it is. CB Homes. Did I pass it? Where the heck is it? CB Homes admin, though, is your guys' profile that pulls all the info. Here it is. CB Homes admin. So you manage profile and listings. This is your whole profile that pulls in from all of our tools, pull in from there. So I would say first check this, and then always you can override it by that preferred agent website. Because that should not be wrong. That's very weird if that's wrong on that. But if that's not the case, let me know. Send me an email and we can get that fixed for you. Tracy, my reminders do not alert me. Is there something in the setup that I am missing? This is discouraging me from using this system. Yeah, so what do you mean it doesn't remind you? Because honestly, it's not going to send you like a text. That is the bad thing. You will have to log in to see what your reminders are. So you should be seeing this 1. Are you not getting that 1 either? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm getting the 1, but when I click on the 1, nothing shows up. And then I go back and then I put in a date range
and it's not
showing. They don't show up. So I took a lot of time and doing reminders a while back, and then they don't show up. So I'm not sure what I'm not doing.
Yeah, that's weird. Let me look into it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Make a note of that. Yeah. Tracy. Okay. I'll look into that and see why. I get it though, because mine's the same way. That's weird. I have one there and I have no idea what the one is.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Marcella says, where do you find Prospect Square is on CB Desk. So anything is always on CB Desk. So my CB Desk, it looks like this, Prospect Square, right here. All of our stuff is on CB Desk. Oh, Sharon gives a good point. She's going into Tax Assessor and finding emails in there. That's good to know, Sharon. Thank you for that. So everyone check out Tax Assessor. You could find emails. How are those leads going, Sharon? I'm curious. You say you're paying for leads. Is that through Market Leader? James. Jim, you can contact me. Shoot me your questions or just call me. And then I can figure either if I could answer them or if I not, I can contact them directly for you. There is not a way to automate reminders, unfortunately. You can't automate because they don't know what you're trying to remind for them. But what you can automate more on Intouch are like the messages that you get back. So for example, if I go to my account, you can automate how you respond is more like the messaging. If you go to email settings, templates, you see I have these. So these are telling you when they register on the site, they're getting this message. When you manually enter a contact, they get this one and so forth. So they have these automatic things set up, but no, reminders are not automatic. There are guys though, just so you know, okay, so I'm going to point these out because Coldwell Banker knows that the CRM is a huge problem across the board and every agent has different preferences on what they want in a CRM. So they're working on an actual custom CRM for Coldwell Banker. And they also are setting up a ecosystem. So if you click on these dots here, they are going to start setting up an open ecosystem, which if you go down here, it says open ecosystem. Like this is one of the CRMs that they have in place and it's closed. So what they're going to start doing is they're going to start to offer different options for you guys for CRMs because they know one size doesn't fit all. Close is an amazing system. I actually tested it out. It's amazing CRM and it has a lot of that artificial intelligence, so that AI stuff in place. So where that you're asking, do they set up automatic reminders? That kind of system would have more of that. But I don't know still if you're going to get an automatic reminder, but what that AI system does is say, for example, if I'm communicating with a client and I say something about that I have a closing on February 13th or something, and I say something like that in my email, this system will actually pull that out of my email and put that on as a reminder. So it will do stuff like that, which helps a lot, but it also can get tedious if you don't want these reminders in place and it's automatically doing it for you. So it's kind of, again, it's like you always have the good and the bad. But I will tell you, this year especially, this is supposed to be a huge year. What they're gonna implement a more into the ecosystem, and what the ecosystem means is they're giving you guys the option to basically use these other CRMs. Okay, these would be a cost, but it's a very low cost. They arranged a cost through Coldwell Banker. I could tell you, like for this one, I think I looked into it. I mean, I did look into it. I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't for a year it was like $475 or $495. It was something like that. It was very, I mean, for a whole year. That's not bad for a CRM, guys. Usually CRMs are a lot more than that. And they're also going to offer other ones. So I've heard of them looking into, I don't live and breathe these, but these are the ones they have mentioned. I've heard of Follow Up Boss being mentioned. I've heard of Top Producer being mentioned. So they're going to actually start to implement these and offer these again, where they're going to have you can take advantage of these as a discount if you wanted another CRM. And then just know that Caldwell itself, they are actually building a CRM that's supposed to be, and then of course, then that one will be free to you guys to use. So just know those are in place. Those are coming. It's supposed to be this year. Lucelina says, I don't have any listings yet. What do I show? So with Intouch, you guys should be connected to your office listings. So if you go to your listings, market my listings, you could show here, if you go to my listings, you should show office listings. These are what you can show on your website. So if I wanted to feature any of these on my website, all I would have to do is hit this little feature this property on my website. And this is an automatic save and unsave thing. And I could literally just click these and put them on my site. So you could put those on there, but of course, anything that you're advertising for another agent, you are going to have to ask their permission. So just keep that in mind. You can't just go soliciting another agent. But what a lot of other agents have done, just to give you some ideas, some have agreed to do listing concierge as an option for that agent. They've actually told the agent, look, I'll split it with you if you put my name on it, or some have even said I'll pay for it if I'm allowed to put my branding on it with yours. That's another option, another way to get you out there. But really it's asking, you're gonna have to ask another agent for sure. Does Intouch tell you when campaigns expire? I don't think you get an email, so to speak. I don't think you get an email. I don't know. Does anyone know that? I don't have any really running to know what happens when it expires. It will tell you this, like you can put them on a next campaign, but yeah, I don't know if you know when they expire. That's a good question. I'll have to find that out. Honestly, I don't know if it tells you when they expire. Does Prospect Square integrate with Intouch? No. Is there an Intouch integration with Facebook? Kind of. So no, Prospect Square doesn't integrate with Intouch. So I will tell you guys this. This is the problem though with, Intouch is a third-party site. Prospect Square is a Coldwell Banker application. So this is why they are trying to build out Prospect Square more to accommodate all the things in Intouch. So you can have a one-stop shop kind of thing. So it's two different parties right now. So that's why I can't talk. It's two different vendors. As far as Intouch or Facebook, it does have the sense of like, if you are pro and you have blogging, you can post your blogs directly to Facebook as an option, but blogging is a pro feature. So here, see here, I could share it right to Facebook. And then you can post your listings right to Facebook. So in that way it integrates. See, I could post this right here. And then in my listings too, I could post and share my listings to Facebook. I don't have any listings, but again, if I go to office listings, you see here, share to Facebook, I could hit that and it's going to grab the listing and put that out. Well, that's good, Sharon. I like that. Yes. Sharon says, I just need to keep sending them information, but set up reminders exactly. Because honestly, guys, there's no way you're going to remember this. I don't care how much memory you have. There's too much going on, especially now. Renata is using clothes. She loves it, but no templates in there. Yeah, I have heard there's no templates in there. Yeah, so learning how to set up your website and putting the SEO words and mega description. Yeah, so a little bit on that. As far as the SEO, it really is just, it's content, guys. It's content. SEO is search engine optimization. And this is why I'm such a big believer on blog posting. Anyone who's taken my website class knows I harp on blogging. Blogging to me is a direct link to the search engines. It just is. I have built a lot of websites in my time, and I'm telling you, there is something about blogging that goes directly to the search engines versus just doing your content on your website. So I highly recommend blogging. And blogging, though, what you got to keep in mind with blogging is blog about what you want to come up with. So if I'm trying to focus on an area, say Weston, then I should blog a lot about Weston. That's everything. Blog about new restaurants that have popped up in Weston, or do a critique of a restaurant in Weston, do events happening in Weston, do what's happening in the real estate market in Weston. There's several blogs right there I just gave you. I mean, those are the kinds of things that you could do. And the great thing is once you have the blog, like you saw, I could just share it to social media. I could share it right to Facebook. You could then, those become posts. Once you create those, it's doing two folds. It then becomes a post, where this is where I think a lot of agents, they think everything is like, oh, it takes so much time. I'm not saying marketing doesn't take time. It does. But just think of when you're doing something, like one thing like a blog, it doesn't mean that now you have to create social media posts too. That is a post. That is a post. That is a post already. So integrate that stuff. You know, like integrate your posting with your blogging and vice versa, and it all helps. And it's helping you with SEO. So it all works. It all kind of connects. Yeah, Renata says close even tracks all the calls made in a day, updates contacts when it sees new info available on a contact. See, that's great. That's that whole AI system. That is amazing. I was very impressed with close. And I think it does texting too, Ramona. Doesn't it text? I think it does texting too, which is obviously big for you guys. KV Core, Sharon says is over 1,000. You could put a search in MLS and set up the search for that. I don't know what KV Core is. You don't need to ask to feature a property on your website. That's fine. All the managers are on board with that. And no one, I don't think, is gonna, it's more advertising it. So if you're gonna share it to social media, that's when you have to definitely ask. Oh, good to hear, Kelly. I am very glad. Yes, Mark, as I just said, you do have to share. Okay, just to clarify that, on the listings, okay, if you're going to put listings on your site from an office, to put them on your website, just feature them, okay? You don't have to ask permission for this. Just put them on your website. There's nothing wrong with this. Feature them. Just click feature. If you're going to share it, that's when you have to ask, because then that's making it look like it's your listing. If you share it, you definitely have to ask the agent for permission. That's when you're really advertising it, and that's a law anyway of the NAR. Diane, does CB have a blog site? No. Nowhere to make blogs. No. And you can't really, you gotta use your own. So what I do, like I used to do blogging a lot. What you need to do is look at like sister sites, look at like sister markets. And what I say by that is, like, for example, like Florida, what I used to look at a lot was California. California was a great market. Because they pretty much are in line with anything of Florida. They're usually ahead too, and they have a lot of great ideas. Here, I did this blog. I'm going to show you guys just to get my blog ideas. I worked with this builder, and I did this blog for him, and this was a property that is over featured in Manatee area, Sarasota, Manatee area. But this can go, like, you're kind of doing the same for across the board, just to give you an idea. So this was a brand new construction builder. These were kind of the typical things that I would blog. So obviously it's tips on staging your home to sell fast, fun area, amenities to enjoy. This was it's on a river, so it would talk about like the dock and dine restaurants. I mean, these are all same blogs that you guys can take for yourself too. You know, again, make it to the area that you want to pop out for. This area was in Parrish, so this is why I talked about the amenities and the area and the amenities. And these aren't long. Like if you look at these blogs, they're not long. They basically, and look, guys, I didn't write this. Do you think I actually wrote this? No. I went and Googled Ellen shopping outlets, and I had a little summary that was already written, and I took it. I Googled this too. I had a summary, was written, and I took it. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's all out there. It's just pulling it all together into a blog. And it's not copywriting when you're just giving somebody like information on what that is. Like, I just basically did a definition of what are those, so that it's not really like I'm not stealing somebody. That is what it is. That's the summary that they are on their website. You know, things to know about moving to the Florida's Gulf Coast. Why? And look, this is crazy. This was actually one of the most popular blogs on this page, and it was 5 reasons why people retire in Sarasota, Florida. Now, look, if you think I was the first one to make that blog, you know I wasn't. And the thing is you can have this be anything. It could be reasons, it could be 10 reasons why people retire to South Florida. Like that can be a blog. And if you Google that, there's tons of reasons why I retire here. This was huge. And what this blog did, this generated so many out of town leads. I got people from all out of state as leads when I didn't spend any money. I just blogged about it. That's where I'm saying the benefit is. That's what you guys got to start thinking of, is people read these things that are coming and moving to Florida. So think about that. Think about what are they looking for? You know, they want to know like things like that. I think I did one blog too, like here is 10 things that make Sarasota the perfect place for your second home, because we got a lot of people who are buying second homes. Then I wrote a blog about it. And then of course I did a few on the community. You see that there's just tons of different ideas here. You know, it was a big boating community. I talked about the boating, choosing the right floor plan. That was because if you're working with a builder, like, so those things, why retire? So again, these are all, and we have a big, and this is Sarasota, which honestly, Sarasota doesn't have much going on. I used to live there. This is way more going on this coast than that coast. So there's way more to blog about here than there is there. But you get my point. Like, you can just talk about this, and what this does is as you keep mentioning the area, then when people Google that area or they're looking, then your blog comes up, and that's what you want. I think I even did a blog on like the top burger places over there. It was just like the top 5 restaurants. And then what that does though, again, is if you're looking at popular restaurants or things that are trending, those will help you when someone's Googling that restaurant or whatever, you'll come up. So those are things to think about. There's tons of ideas out there for blogs though, guys. Don't think that you have to. Yeah, Patrick puts Rose and Dean. Rose is gonna kill me that you keep putting her. She's gonna kill me. You keep putting it out there. So I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, so when I say plagiarize, don't copy verbatim. No, so here's the thing with plagiarizing, okay? Don't copy verbatim. Take the concept and then put it in your own words. Like I use the example all the time. Like obviously all of us were in high school at one point. We all had to write a ton of essays, right? Or high school or college. So if you're writing a ton of essays, how did you write the essay? We all use Cliff Notes pretty much. So how did you make it? You didn't plagiarize. You basically would take it and rewrite it. That's the same concept here. You could literally, I'm telling you, if you Google any of those blog ideas that I just said, like here, if I even like, I'll Google one for you. Reasons to retire to Florida. Let's say this is a blog. Look, it even gives you here's benefits right here. You already have them. Here's 11 reasons. Here's 10 reasons. You see how look how many there are. So look, if I just click on each of these and I take a little bit from each of these and then intermingle it into my own and make it into my own words, that's what I'm saying. That's how you can get started with writing, and you're not plagiarizing. You're basically taking the idea and then making it better. That's really what marketing is. You're taking somebody else's idea and you're making it better. Yeah, so that's the blogging. And blogging is literally just start. Honestly, if I was going to start, Diane, I would say start with the area that you want to pull up for. So if it's Fort Lauderdale Beach, talk about Fort Lauderdale Beach. Talk about what is happening with real estate in Fort Lauderdale Beach. Start with that as your first blog. Second blog can be, what are the top restaurants in Fort Lauderdale Beach? What are the attractions in Fort Lauderdale Beach? What is happening in Fort Lauderdale Beach? Like those things, like you could constantly blog. And that's what I mean. And I can tell you guys, honestly, for that builder, I used to have a page that was all just, it was a calendar of events. And again, like I told you, analytics are huge. I would watch analytics like a hawk. I would watch who was on my site all the time, and I'd be able to see what pages they were on. That calendar of events generated more traffic than any other page on my site because people want to know what's happening. So you can literally blog about an event, and that's going to help trend in your marketing as well and in your optimization, because you're going to be found now. When somebody goes and Googles that event, you're going to come up now, or they'll find your blog first. And that's the key, is they're going to find your blog. And so always on those blogs, let me go back to that blog on the islands. What is it? And let me just show you on the blog. This is what I did on all of them. If you click on any of these, let's say I click on the Stock and Dine one. if you go to the bottom, I always had a couple of these that I would switch out. This is what I would call like your call to action. This says schedule a tour today, click here. So this would take them right now. If they clicked, this will take them to a form to contact. And it basically is the form on the site where they can then go contact and schedule. So this would be the call to action that you guys can do too, just with the Intouch. It's the same concept. You could literally go to your website. So if you're blogging, you could create a little graphic or just click here, just contact me today. It doesn't even have to be a graphic. Just say contact me today or schedule your whatever today. And it's the same concept. It's if I go to a blog, here, let me show you on the website. If I'm on my site, what I can link to then is that contact page. This can be my link as I tell everyone to contact me today. So then here's my link. So then I could say in my blog, contact me today or whatever, schedule today to see this, whatever you want to, however you want to say your call to action. And then I link them here, and then that's my form for them to contact me. So that's what I would put on the bottom of every blog. And again, you just change it. Like I said, with these, I would switch it out. I would switch out, say, schedule a tour, visit, contact me. I would just change it all out. So what makes it a blog is first it's on your website, Diane. So this is what's going to help you with search engine optimization. The blogging is on your site. It goes through a different parameter on your website. And what I mean by that is blogging is actually set up differently on the back end of your site. So it's run differently than yours, which is why I think the search engines pick it up differently. So here, if I was going to go to mine, blog here. So blogging is like this. It looks like this. You basically have all these categories and you have the archives. So it keeps all of the record of all of your stuff in here. You know, so you can have this for years and years about just different ideas for blogging. You know, I do always show Rose's because it's funny because Rose comes up very high on the search engines. And she has no content on her site. Like, look, nothing is written in here. No content on anything. But she comes up very high in the search engine if actually you type in real estate in Weston. And the reason is she has years and years of blogging, like all the way back to 2016. And you see, she's somebody that's in Weston, and she talks a lot about Weston. Here, we are leaning into a seller's market. You know, she talks about, obviously her husband's a pro golfer. She talks about the golfing, why staging is important when selling. You know, here's ideas too on just what you guys need to do. Here, buying new construction with the help of a realtor, why you should use a realtor to buy new construction. This was an event in Weston, so she blogged about it. You know, this is what I mean. This is Weston is both a buyer's and seller's market. This is why she's coming up. She's talking about what's going on in her community, but then she's adding other things. You know, allergy is a thing that hits home to her kids. So she talks about that. She talks about favorite allergy friendly spots to eat. Like these are the things that have like, she's using personal things and then blogging about it. You know, this is what I mean. Update on the Weston luxury real estate market. This was all the way back in 2017. But you see, it stays there. That's the great thing about blogging. And if you guys don't try to don't overthink it so much. Like if you just did, let's say you just did a blog a month, you know, by 5 months, you already have 5 blogs. If you got more aggressive and did 2 blogs a month, then at 5 months, you're already at 10 blogs in. So that's what I mean is just think about it like what I used to do, how I used to get ahead of blogging is I would say, I literally went to the California market and I said, okay, in California, I'm going to just take a Word doc. I took like a couple hours one day and I said, I'm going to just look and see what are all the ideas for a blog. I think I'm frozen now. Okay, now what are all the ideas for a blog? And I basically took a Word doc and I just wrote a bunch of just topics. It took like 2 hours one day and did it. And I just said, okay, just let me write and I looked, the California is a great mirror market for us to mirror. They have great bloggers out there. Follow them. Look at what they're blogging. So what I would do, as I said, I took a Word doc and I said, look, here's a bunch of ideas. And I had it filled, literally 2 pages of blog ideas. So then when it came time to me writing a blog, I would say, okay, I'm going to pull up that Word doc and be like, okay, what am I going to blog about today? So then you're not scrambling. You already have all your ideas in place. Just pull and be like, okay, which one do I want to cover today or this week or this month? And then blog about it. And that's what I mean. It's like everything's out there, guys. And this is why I say, like, everything with marketing. Marketing literally is taking somebody's idea and making it better. It's all out there. I'm saying again, don't plagiarize, but come on, we've all written essays. We've all had to take cliff notes and write it and make it look like we wrote it. That's it's the same with marketing. Just use your own words and you will be able to do it. And don't think it has to be so long because nobody reads anyway. Nobody reads. So make it short, make it sweet, use the key words that are going to help you in the search engine optimization. And then in the second hand, use that blog for your social media post. That just became a post now that you could post about. You know, one thing, like I said, the events, that's a great blog in itself to just blog every week. You could literally say events happening in South Florida this weekend. That could be a blog that then you could share on social media. The thing is that stuff starts helping trend in the search engines. You start getting noticed on those events when people Google them, especially if they're a popular one. You know, any popular event in your area, blog about it. It's going to help you. And then, of course, it gives you something else to. The great thing is with blogging, when I'm posting that and sharing that to my social media, now when they click on that, it goes to my website for them to read it. And that's the idea, is always getting back to your website. Sharon, I love that. I'm glad you think this is the best. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat. You guys can feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have or anything that you guys want to brainstorm, ask me anything, whatever. I'm happy to help in any way I can. I also am available for one-on-ones. Whatever you guys need, just let me know. Yeah, so there's no, like I say, Kelly, there's no right or wrong. Like, it's not like the way I look at it is, how much would I read of this? I always put myself in the shoes and I'm like, how much would I really read of this? And this is why I say a lot of the blogs, like you see the ones I showed you, you kind of have bullets or you have bold, like make it kind of spaced out. Also, that helps with search engines, guys, just so you know, with search engine optimization. The more that you can kind of section areas, that helps, because what happens is you got to think of this robot is scanning your stuff. The robot is scanning your content. So they're looking for those keywords. So that's why bold a section with a keyword. If I said, okay, market update for Weston, I would put that in bold, write a few highlights of the market update, then go to the next section. When you should sell your home, or whatever it is, whatever you want to do. Or maybe that's just one blog, then you go to another blog. That kind of concept. Okay, so make it like bold, make it more like bullet type items. That's going to help you too with the search engines. I love you, Renata. Thank you. So any other questions that you guys have? Blogging and Intouch. Yeah. So if you have to be pro, but once you're pro, it'll show up here under content. It literally says blog post. You see that these are already 3 that they gave you. They do have an article library. I wouldn't recommend the article library, guys. It seems very out of date. And honestly, there's so much better content that's out there. If you look at just other agents that are already blogging, you could get the ideas and the concepts. And all you have to do is you would add new posts. This would be your title. So here I already had one, buying a home. You would change your image to whatever you want it to be. You upload your own, or you have a stock. I think the stock here though isn't that great. So use the own. And then basically you just write. You just start writing, and then that's it. And then once you have it, you have this thing. And like I said, you could easily share it. You can even email it out. You can even take the link here. It gives you a link, and then you can put that into your Intouch if you're sending an email out. You know, this could be part of your newsletter as you start putting blogs out there weekly that they click on and they look at. But there's so much you can blog about. That's why I say is look at a lot of those California agents. I would definitely. Oh, you can't see my screen. Yeah, that helps. I wasn't sharing. Sorry, I thought I was sharing. So here, the blogging's here. So it comes up under your website. This is website, edit site, and you see the blogs here. It comes under content. This, again, you have to be pro to see this. So then you see I get all these. These are like the 3 standard. I haven't written any. You hit add new posts. You basically would hit a title, change your image. You could upload your own or use the stock, whatever. And then you just start writing. And that's it. Like I said, and don't make it long. Nobody reads anymore anyway. But just do key bullets. You're really just helping yourself with sharing to social media, and you're helping yourself with SEO and getting recognized out there. It does have, like I said, it does have an article library in here, but it's very, I wouldn't use it, honestly. If you want my opinion, I wouldn't use it. But it could give you some ideas in it. So you never know where your ideas are going to come from. Yes, Christopher Chu is great. He is awesome. And again, he's California. There's a bunch of other ones too out there. Just Google people in California. I'm telling you, California is a great mirror market, and you don't have to worry about copying or anything like that because they're not even in our market. So that's what I always did. And like I said, just take an hour or two one day and just write a bunch of ideas. Yeah, I did stop sharing because I'm not sharing anything. I stopped because the class is about over. I'm going to stop the recording, but again, I have my email in there. You guys feel free to reach out with any questions that you have. Yes, I will put this on my channel, and I will also put this back in the chat once I get the recording. So again, feel free to reach out. Any questions that you guys have, I'm more than happy to help. Even if you guys have certain ideas or you want